15 years of World of Warcraft, and I never once engaged in role-playing. Less than a month in Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm dancing in a virtual nightclub. What can I say? Welcome to part 16. Welcome everyone to part 16. I hope you're all having a great day. I just want to say firstly, thank you all so much for all the support on the last video. It was just kind of a silly little video idea I had, and it got so many views and comments. I really wasn't expecting it. So yeah, thank you all so much for that. Really surprised by that. So it just makes me think I can make more fun stuff outside of this series. So yeah, thank you so much. A lot has happened since the last video, so there's quite a lot to show you in this one. I really hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to share this one with you. Spoiler warning from here on out. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing I've been trying to do is progress Coils of Bahamut synced. So this has been super hard, super challenging, but super fun. We've been doing it live on stream. I'll link my Twitch down below if you ever do want to come and watch, or if you're on the Light Data Center, you can also join in. This has been so fun. We're making some real progress here. So I thought I'd share some of the best parts of this because yeah, this is as good as everyone's been saying. So everyone's been saying how hard and challenging, but how good the story is for Coils. And I'm going to be honest, I started this T1 and I was like, it's not really that hard. It's just like a dungeon. I don't really get what all the fuss is about. We pretty much melted the first boss. And yeah, I was doing this on stream and I was like, guys, I don't think this is as hard as you're making out. I'm a little confused. And then it was exactly the same story on the second boss. He had this big orb thing. And yeah, there was just no real challenge here. We did this synced with some people from Twitch and the Discord, and yeah, it was really just okay. There was no real issue. T3 was essentially just a big jumping puzzle. You just had to jump on these platforms to get lower and lower down the cavern, and then T4 was just a big fight with a bunch of robots. And yeah, again, it was just kind of okay. You're just going down an elevator and fighting a bunch of robots. And then this is what I will call the first real raid tier challenge I've met in Final Fantasy XIV. I've done the Crystal Tower minimum eye level, and that was pretty hard. There was a lot of hard and difficult bosses there, but we never spent more than like 5 pulls on it. This boss here, Twintania, the name of our server in fact, absolutely wiped the floor with us. I went in here with so much confidence and bravado, and it humbled me so quickly. We even had to jump on a voice call. Big shout out to Janet for talking us through this, talking the mechanics through, because this guy is so unforgiving. I hope you enjoyed that. That is just a sample of the sheer volume of wipes we went through over a couple of hours. It was rough. It was rough. So this guy does some mechanics that if one person makes a mistake, the whole team suffer. So he does like a big dive bomb where he just comes in through the side and just takes out everyone in a path. If you get targeted and you're standing near other people, you kill all those other people. And it's not like you can do damage reduction or heal through it. It's an instant kill to multiple people. And then he does the twisters, and the twisters were the hardest thing to get my head around. It's like there's no telegraph on the floor. You just got to watch his cast. As soon as he starts casting, you got to move. And if it hits you, instant death. If you're near someone else when that happens, instant death. This guy was incredible to fight. But after many, many hours, many fails, much frustration, we did it. We finally dropped the guy, and this was such a rush. It honestly was so good. It felt so good to finish this guy. Yeah, coils are no joke. Do coils if you haven't done them. Really, really fun. T6, there was so much going on that I had to stop and resize all my hotbars because I physically couldn't work out all the different mechanics that were going off. Generally, this fight was okay. The hardest part was that, again, if one person makes a mistake, the whole team suffers. He'd do these things where he'd like suck in a big group of people. If you were in that path, everyone in that area got sucked in and killed. There's some big damage here, some big things to look out for. But yeah, generally he was a lot easier than 5, but we still took a few wipes from him. And then T7. T7. Memorable T7. Your team have to be working in pure unison here. If one person messes up, it's game over. This was incredible. The last one was probably the hardest one, but this one was probably my favorite so far. The pure amount of like individual responsibility you have is insane. So there's 2 types of moves you can get given here. The main things. You can get given a petrification in a cone or a petrification in a circle. If you have the cone, you have to make sure you aim it out so you don't attack any of your party. You also have to freeze one of the big Minotaur people at the back. If you have the big circular AoE, you have to get behind the frozen Minotaur so that it doesn't attack anyone else. We wiped so many times. So you can see here, she will put different debuffs on different people. As you can see here, I got given the AoE, so I had to run all the way back, get behind the big frozen Minotaur thing, and then make sure that no one else in the party got frozen. So yeah, this was definitely this has been my most favorite fight of all time out of everything I've done so far in Final Fantasy 14. And there's other mechanics on top of this as well, but this is just the best fight I've done so far. Really enjoyed this. We did finally finish it after much struggle, much effort. I think people were talking about quitting and finishing. It got to like 1 or 2 a.m. and I just kept saying, we're going to keep going. And thank you so much to everyone who stuck through. Despite all the failure, despite the stress, we finally got this finished, and it was such a good feeling. Every single interaction I have with like big mechanical fights or, you know, tiered progressive content just makes me fall in love with this game more, because I mean, that's kind of my bread and butter coming from World of Warcraft. That's really what I'm used to, and it's done so damn well here. It has blown me away. I'm so shocked at how good it is here. I don't want to say if it's better or worse, because obviously I've not done much, but what I've done alone is incredible, and I'm so excited to see more. And then someone said, if you like really hard and challenging content, you should try buying a piece of land. And yeah, house buying in this game is rough. So I'm not a negative guy. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's bad. I mean, obviously the alternative of like being able to buy and sell houses could get really bad, but the current system feels a little broken. I've heard stories of people that have to sit for 6, 12, 14 hours just sitting by this placard going right click buy. And yeah, there's like a timed system where eventually the plot will open up, but you never know when that time is, so you just have to sit here hoping that when you click it, it's opened. Rough. Really rough. And then we decided to give Coils a break at T8. Just thought, you know, this is a good place to stop. We need to do 9+. So that's going to be coming in another video. We haven't done it yet. We're probably going to do it on stream. So if you do want to see it or be involved, feel free to follow the Twitch. I'll link it down below. Everyone is welcome. We're having some great fun over there. Or join the Discord to be notified about when we do that kind of thing. I'll link that down below as well. There's nearly 1,000 of us in the Discord, which is crazy. And then we were flying around and there was like this weird weather and everyone was spamming in chat on Twitch. The Odin's up, Odin's up. And I was like, are we for Odin? What do you mean? And there was this fate where Odin spawns in the real world, in the open world. Not the real world, obviously. I'm playing too much. Yeah, so we headed over here, and yeah, we went in and we just jumped straight in and just got involved. And yeah, this was like there's a similar like world boss thing in World of Warcraft. So I've seen things like this before, but I had no idea like what to do. I literally just jumped in and started fighting him. This was super hard. We died a hell of a lot here. A hell of a lot. Died at every single mechanic, I think. But it was super fun. And someone told me this really cool thing, like the last person that kills him gets named or something. I'm not sure how that works. Let me know exactly what that means. But yeah, apparently like he names the last person who lands the finishing blow, which is really cool. And then after about 9 deaths, he finally died. Yeah, this is really cool. And we got these Odin's mantles. So someone told me to go over to, I think it was Mordana, to go and hand these in. And basically you can get everything that Odin wears. So the helmets look super cool. I almost bought the helmet, but then I saw the sword. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't really have that many characters that use a sword. Mainly the paladin is like one-hander with a sword, with a shield, sword, and shield. But I thought the sword looked so cool. It's like a lightsaber. It's like a very small little handle. And then when you draw it, this like laser dark sword comes out. I think it looks so cool. So yeah, I spent my money on that. You can also get like a chocobo mount, a chocobo bardin, which makes your chocobo look like the horse he rides, which is pretty cool. And then I did some more MSQ, and you learn about the plight of the Kupo, the Moggles, which was really strange. I always find these creatures so unusual in all of the different games. And it unlocks the most strange trial I've ever seen. This was completely bonkers. One thing going into this trial, I didn't take it seriously because they just look so cute and silly. I thought this would just be like a joke trial. I don't know why. I thought it'd be like a special event style trial and it'd just be a bit of fun. I died twice. This was hard. But yeah, the more trials I do, the more I'm like enjoying how different they are. Like this is completely different to any of the other primals or, you know, Cape Westwind. It's very different to all the different things you've done so far. And I appreciate that. This was really, really cool. It's nice to finally see some Moggles in a fight. So yeah, really cool. Really, really cool one. And then yeah, finally got through this. We're finally starting to make some progress in the post-ARR MSQ. I held it off for quite a long time because I was doing like loads of other stuff, but finally starting to make some progress, and it's really interesting. I heard that everything after MSQ, everything after 2.0, leading up to Heaven's Ward was really dry, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of it, like the volume of quests is a lot, and there's a lot of talking, but the quests themselves are actually really good, and I'm quite enjoying it. And then when you hit 50, you unlock so many dungeons, like optional dungeons, optional hard modes. There's so much to do. So I started to chip away at them a little bit. So we did the Temple of Quarn, Temple of Coils. I've been calling it Temple of Coils. I don't know what it's actually called. I needed to do this to progress my grand company so that I could try and struggle to find a house. So yeah, we did the Temple of Coils, which was I don't like the aesthetic of this dungeon, like the idea of like the Indiana Jones style dungeon. But I really like the fights. I thought the fights were quite cool. There's a cool mechanic on the trash where like these big stone blockheads, like something out of Super Mario, you've got to kill them on the pressure plates, and then they flop down on the pressure plates, and it'll open the door. I thought that was really, really cool because, I mean, I've not seen many instances where the trash have mechanics or things you have to do. So yeah, I really appreciate that. I thought it was really, really cool. So you can see here we're leading this one up to the block here, and then killing him on the block so that he opens the next door. Really, really, really cool. Big fan. And then yeah, we did the final boss in here. Generally this dungeon, I don't know why the aesthetic just wasn't for me, but the fights were really good. I'm looking forward to doing this again on a hard mode if there's a hard mode, just because I really did like the fights. So yeah, this dungeon's like a mid-tier just because it's so polarizing, but yeah, I did like the fights. And then if that dungeon didn't do it for you, this dungeon was incredible. This was back up to a 10. This was phenomenal. So Tam-Tara Deepcroft. Tam-Tara Deepcroft. This dungeon was pretty cool the first time. It's very simple but pretty cool. So something really shocked me on hard modes. In World of Warcraft, when you have varying difficulties, normal, heroic, and mythic, the dungeons are identical. They're the identical dungeon with the identical monsters. Sometimes there's more mobs, but sometimes they've got more health. That's all you're really looking at, and additional mechanics. I was blown away to realize that hard mode dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV have a different layout, a different story, and different monsters location. It's a completely different dungeon in the same setting. So I've been sleeping on hard modes thinking, I don't really want to run the dungeon again, but just a bit more difficult. But now I know this, I want to run all of the hard modes. I've started unlocking them all now, and I want to run them all because I can't believe there's a completely different side to the dungeon by running it on hard. Really, really surprised me. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're not going to say, hey, this game isn't like WoW, but it never was made clear that it's a completely different dungeon. So yeah, I'm really impressed by that. Really, really happy. And this dungeon alone, Tam-Tara, had such a good story. So as you go through the dungeon, you read all these little notes, and you learn about the adventurers from the very start of the game. when you were doing the Tam-Tara dungeon originally. So it's such a good tie-in. And then this woman, I think her name was Edda, her partner died. So she was trying to resurrect him, like with necromancy. And she was trying to find a body. And you were fighting in the dungeon, like disposed liver, disposed lungs, disposed heart. And it was part of her trying to make a body for her partner, which is so dark and creepy and weird. And then you you fight at the end her weird, strange creature, and you can see she's taken a bit of a dark turn from when you saw her last. And then it was obviously out of desperation. And then when you finally, the fight itself was really cool. Big fan of the fight. And then when you defeat this strange abomination of a creature at the end, you get this like epic kind of, you think that's the end and you've killed it, and then you get this strange cutscene where the woman it's kind of like she loses her mind. It's like something out of a horror film. She kind of backs away and she catches on fire through all the candles. And I mean, of course, there's a big thing of people falling. But yeah, she catches on fire and then she falls to her death. So cool. I really, this dungeon was so good. So good. Absolutely love it. Then as you leave the dungeon, if you're scared of horror films, look away. Yeah, really cool. Rizza's like, she's obviously still alive and she's gone a bit evil now. Amazing. And then to wrap that story up perfectly, we went and cleared floor 50 of Path of the Dead. So we'd wiped on this boss maybe 3 times and then we just gave up. After beating Tam-Tara, it was only right to finish this as well. So yeah, we went and beat Edda. I think the name's Edda. Yeah, and you defeat like the corrupted Edda, and then you get this really cool cutscene at the end. Which I guess this ties up Tam-Tara Deepcroft. I feel like that's like a tie-in. Yeah, really good. Like, I like how everything's kind of linked, and there's nowhere telling you that they're linked or that you should do them together. It's just like a really good, it's just like story everywhere. I really like it. And then we sat on stream, and I said, I'm gonna camp this house. We had a bit of competition, but there were 2 houses in the goblet, and I sat in the goblet for around 3 hours, just clicking placards, trying to get a house. There were a few that we were going for, but the ones in the goblet were definitely the ones I wanted the most. So I literally just sat here for hours and hours and hours. And when the stream ended, I set my alarm throughout the night. So for like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., trying to get these houses. And it was pure pain. Somehow, by some stroke of pure luck, I walked up to a placard in the goblet. There was no one there, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try. And we got it. I don't know how it happened. I wanted to do this on stream, and I've been trying to do it for hours on stream, but I just clicked it off stream in the middle of the day and got it, and completely shocked me. Really surprised. So yeah, we got a house now, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. I feel a bit like it happened quite fast. It happened within like 24 hours, which is crazy. So yeah, insane. Thank you everyone for all your help as well, like telling me where the plots are, people that gave me a bit of money towards this, helping me with my grand company. So yeah, thank you everyone. There will be like a house decorating video coming up soon because I'm super excited for that. But yeah, we're living in the goblet, baby. And then after buying a house, I kind of done a bit of MSQ as well. And I was just kind of getting to a place where I just wanted to chill out. And someone dropped me a message. Come over to this place in the goblet. There's a new nightclub. And I was like, what? So I went over, and yeah, there actually was a full awesome nightclub with like RP. There were bouncers and barmen and dancers, and yeah, this was so strange to see. But it was really fun. I like that there's stuff like this in the game. It's really cool. And then obviously for copyright reasons, you'll have to just imagine your own music here. Think of your own favorite nightclub music and just imagine that's happening. I'm probably going to wrap this video up again here because we're hitting like the 20-minute mark again. Thank you so much for your patience, as always, with these videos. And yeah, thank you for putting up with the longer ones. They're getting long, so I hope that's okay. This is a big one. A lot has happened in the last few days. Not so much MSQ, but lots of community stuff, lots of fun stuff, and lots of like mandatory side quests. So yeah, I hope you're still enjoying the series. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch. I really appreciate it. As always, most of this stuff happens on Twitch, so I will link my Twitch down below. I would love to see you there live. We're streaming 3 to 4 times a week right now. Also, the Discord, there's nearly 1,000 of us, and there's some incredible people in there. We've got an amazing community. If you want to join that, again, I'll link it down below. Thank you all so much. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.